get along with the Africans, and they don't get along with us. They've been taught to hate us and dislike us and think we're a fool. And we've been taught we don't like their attitude. They act like they're superior because we're walking around talking about we are African Americans. We're not African Americans. We are American Africans. This is how African look that's been indoctrinated with all the nonsense of America. This is how an African looks when they have been robbed of their God, their politics, and their principles. We are a result. This is what it looks like.
Hey guys, what's up? I hope you all are doing well and welcome back to another episode. Happy new month, and I hope the Lord is protecting you. There is a video I've been coming across several times. The Black Americans complaining that Africans really don't like them, and some Africans also complaining that they don't like Black Americans because of how they mistreated them. And I'm like, when? Because if you have ever had an encounter with maybe one person, then you start generalizing that all Black Americans are bad, or maybe all Africans are bad. The generalization is the only thing that is bringing issues here. There is a certain lady who is an African American. She's in America right now. She explained her experience and the reason behind all these issues. So guys, let's take a closer look, and I will come back with my thoughts about it. Stay tuned.
Bro, I'm reaching out to the African community. Why don't y'all like us? Because when I be at work and I be trying to talk to the African people, it always seemed like they be like looking at me funny or side-eyeing me. And at first I was thinking maybe they just don't understand me that well. Maybe they're not well acquainted with the way we speak or something. I don't know. But somebody brought it to my attention that they just don't like African American people. And I didn't believe it at first. But then I started noticing certain little things. One of my coworkers was like, if you notice, they always cool with the white people. They love white people. I'm like, no, I don't think it's that. Like, there's no way they like white people more than they like us. That don't even make sense. I'll never forget. I was walking down this long pathway at my job. It's like a long pathway. And I see somebody just running this way like super, super fast. And it was an African. And I'm sitting there watching this, and she's a beautiful African lady, like super beautiful. Like, but she running this way. I'm looking like, what's she running from? It's a white dude behind her chasing her, and they both just laughing and giggling. I'm like, ain't that the same girl I was just trying to talk to yesterday, and she act like she couldn't understand nothing I was saying? How she having so much fun talking to this white man, but she can't be cool with me? Like, that's insane. Like, why don't y'all like us? Like, what is it that y'all don't like about us? I thought we was cool. And then as time went on, more and more, like, down the line, I'm starting to peep, like, this is a reoccurring pattern. Like, it keep on happening. I'm starting to peep that ain't no Africans trying to talk to me. They all act funny towards me, but they do be messing with the white people. And I'm like, bruh, that's a real thing? Like, I used to hear people say it, but I didn't really believe it. Like, I'm not the type of person that just hears something and just believe it automatically. Like, I got to see for myself. And once I really seen it, like, this same African lady I was just trying to talk to yesterday, not being flirtatious, not being weird or nothing, like, regular conversation, just trying to, you know what I mean, help make the day go by, like, not even saying nothing bad or nothing. This same lady who wouldn't even give me a conversation was being chased down by a white man, laughing and giggling. I couldn't believe it. Why don't y'all like us? I understand we're a little bit Americanized and everything like that, and we're a little bit brainwashed, and we can be ignorant at times, but every African American is not like that. I don't like to see myself as an ignorant person who runs around starting I don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't do that at all. So I don't understand. It's very frustrating. I don't even want to talk about it no more. But hey, have y'all ever experienced that?
As an African living in the United States, I used to share the same sentiment that Africans share about African Americans, because I had a hard time when I first moved here. People used to always tell me, you're not black enough, you're an Oreo, you're secretly white on the inside, as if I wasn't literally from Africa. But I now understand, after living here for 8 years, that black in the United States is a very specific criteria, and anything outside of that just doesn't fit. But I want to help African Americans understand that Africans coming to the United States are immigrants, first and foremost. Then they are Nigerian or Senegalese or whatever country they're from. And then at some point, they are black. But Africans don't put black high up on their identity well, as much as African Americans do. And that is for legitimate reasons on both ends. And so when an African is coming to the United States, they're thinking to themselves, okay, I'm an immigrant here. I have to do my best for myself and my family back home. The sacrifices that took for me to get here were no light work, okay? So I need to really align myself with what's going to make me successful in this country. And because it's the United States, it's the dominant culture, which is white American culture. And so Africans are going to instinctively ally themselves with the culture that's going to give them the most success. I mean, African Americans even admit that they have to code switch to be successful here because that's what brings success. And so Africans are like, all right, we'll do that. And it also doesn't help that for a long time, Africans are fed a very negative view of Black American culture, and that's its own propaganda. But because Africans are so conservative and they're coming to a country where Black Americans have been labeled as the antithesis to this conservative traditional family values, they have, if anything, more in common with like Southern Baptist white racist people. But that aside, going back to identity markers, Black Americans put Black first and foremost, and then everything else goes below it. And so they're thinking when another Black people come to our country, they're going to want to integrate with us, the other Black people, because Black comes first. And they get quickly disappointed in realizing that for Africans, Black and the identity and that coming is not first. Their immigrant identity comes first, and then their country. And if anything, for us as Africans to feel like that's my brother, that's my brethren, or whatever, you have to come from the same tribe as us, because we have so many Black people around, we don't automatically pre-select for Black. But Black Americans don't have so many Black people around, have had to defend and protect their culture amidst a dominant white culture, and so they are already pre-select and are overprotective for Black. And so that's why I think at the core of it, there's like a deep misunderstanding because of not realizing that we put where we put our identity markers and what we put first and what we prioritize are so different culturally because of our differences in trauma, realistically. And so it does make sense that Black Americans will be like, oh, my people, my brethrens, come here. And Africans coming to the United States are like, I'm just trying to make it here. Like, it's a lot of work to immigrate to the United States. And so y'all can stay over there, and I can see why it's hurtful, and I can see why it's taken personally, and I can see the deep misunderstanding and the betrayal that African Americans feel. But it's unfortunate, and that's just a reality. But if we can talk about it from this perspective, I think we can get to a better understanding. But I also believe that Africans that spend enough time in the United States get to this compassion and understanding of the Black American community, because it is a very unique and specific set of circumstances for a culture to grow and to develop.
So we already know that Africans and African Americans don't get along. The hate is very evident when you hop online. But that's the thing. When you hop online, I don't see this shit in person at all. Okay, I'm lying a little bit. There will always be somebody that's mean, but that's not what I'm talking about. My point is that the hate is strong online, but there's lots of love in person. As an African, I love African Americans. I have so many African American friends. We get along just fine. And I bet you if I asked any of them what they think of Africans, they won't have anything bad to say. We can talk about the bullying that Africans endured by African Americans in school, but that's not what I want to talk about. Just because I'm not in school anymore and I don't get bullied for being African anymore. I have learned to let that go because I decided to love myself. And I've been able to see that a lot of the African Americans that bullied me are now grown or the same age as me, and they don't think like that anymore. If you're Black and you go to any part of Africa, I bet you will be loved and welcomed. So just remember that just because there's hate and division online, it doesn't mean that it's the same thing in person.
I had a meeting with this guy, and he's Black American, and I'm from Africa. So after our meeting, he asked me about how is Africa. So I told him there's a lot of Black Americans that's moving back home. They find out where they're from and they move back home. So then he asked me a question that why Africans don't like Black American. So I was like, okay, I have the same question for you. Why Black Americans don't like African? Because as long as I'm concerned, since I've been in America, I only hear Africans don't like Black Americans don't like Africans. I don't know no of the reason. He could not tell me any good reason, and I don't have any reason. I don't have nothing to tell him in return. So I was telling him, is this just white people trying to disunite two African people or two Black people? Imagine, Black American and African coming together, how powerful we can be. So are they just trying to disunite us or what? So if you have any experience or you have any reason or you know anything, that that why African not like Black American, why Black American not like Africans. Share it. I'm willing to learn. Thank you.
So, as an African, I can say that not all Africans dislike Black Americans. You know, if you have an encounter with one of the Africans as a Black American, you can't be generalizing all Africans that they don't like Black Americans. And again, Africans can't be generalizing all the Black Americans that they hate Africans. I know this is the only issue that has been ongoing, and it started when the internet came, because before I didn't know anything about Black Americans hating Africans or Africans hating Black Americans. I've been reading several comments from the Black Americans saying that they've never had any encounter with the Africans, and some were saying that they had a very bad encounter with the Africans, and they were also saying that the Africans who moved to the United States started showing them hatred, and they really don't know the reason behind it. You know, there is also a Black American who said that the Africans who moved to the States should explain to them how they really managed to get to the United States. I'm like, what? You know, people are trying to get together, to unite together so that the world can be a better place. Because yes, as an African, if there is any African who have ever disliked or hated Black American, or you've ever encountered any negative experience with a Black American, I'm sorry on behalf of all the Africans. Personally, I've never had any bad encounter with a Black American. The people I've interacted with, especially the Black Americans, they were all nice. So I can't say that Africans dislike the Black Americans. I think it's the colonial mind that some of the Africans still have that is making them to dislike the Black Americans, saying that they are taking their culture away from them. Others are saying that the Black Americans really don't know their tribe, their culture, where they came from, which is not good. You know, that slavery mind is still in some of the Africans, and I can say that a smaller percentage who are waking up and are fighting against the colonialism, the other group are seeing this group as bad people. You know, the colonial mind in some of the Africans, it's still there. So if we can do away with this colonial issue and the slavery issue in our mind, then we unite together as all Black people, because we are all Black. Our skin tone is black. Our ancestors were one. Like, this fight has been ongoing, this debate has been ongoing in the social media for quite a long period of time. Then I said, why not talk about it? Because not all Africans dislike the Black Americans, and the Black Americans, some of them say that they really like Africans. They want to move back to Africa to enjoy the serene environment, the motherland. You know, there is another comment I came across about, it was an African saying that you should not come to Africa, this is not your motherland. Like, seriously, you know, Africa is a continent with 54 countries. So if you are from a certain country, just mention and tell the Black Americans that please don't come to our country. As simple as that. But stop generalizing Africans as a whole. Then there are also other Black Americans who say that they cannot move to Africa. Sorry guys, that's my baby behind there. So I've watched several videos of the Black Americans taking DNA. They want to know their roots, and majorly the West African countries. You know, Africa, we have different parts: the West, the East, the South, the North. And in Africa, again, we have a fight with the North Africans. They really dislike majority of the Africans because their skin tone is not that black. Especially people in Morocco, Algeria, they really dislike us. The Liberia, I've watched some videos. Actually, they want to analyze the Black people in Liberia, and they said that if you're a black person, you better move out of Liberia as fast as possible. So if we as Africans are still fighting ourselves, what about other countries? Do you think they will love us? Anyway guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. As an African watching this video, have you ever had any negative encounter with a black American? And a black American watching this video, have you ever had any negative encounter with an African, and how did you handle it? Do you like Africans? Are you planning to maybe visit Africa sometimes? Let me know in the comment section. And always welcome to Kenya, because Kenya is the motherland. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I really appreciate your support. Sometimes I'm always busy, and if I find time, that's the point, I always make video, because currently Moses is away for a while, for a month. He'll be back soon. Anyway, thank you so much. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Until next time, bye.